Hello, my name is David Hood, and I'm the Dallas SEO Geek, and I thought I'd create a video showing you and telling you a little bit about me so you can understand more about what I can do for you and how I can help you grow your business. So first I'd like to talk a little bit about my business philosophy, because the most important thing is having a good business philosophy that fits your needs and my needs together so that we can both win. I have here first, I have not grabby, and by that I mean I'm not out to grab as much money as I can and then run. I'm actually out there to create, this is my third point, long-term win-win business relationships. I think that's how you really build a business, and I think there's a lot of people in my industry who are out there just to kind of grab a bunch of money as quickly as they can, and you know, they might make some money up front, but over time they're not going to really be able to build a long-term business, and that's just not what I'm interested in. And I think you do that by having integrity. You put these two together by having integrity. And you know, that means that I'm going to be honest with you about what the expectations are. I've told people before, hey, you know, I just don't think this is worth it based upon the numbers, and I will tell you that, and I'll tell you approximately what I think you can expect. You know, it's not a perfect 100% predictable thing, but I can at least give you a pretty good idea, and I'll even educate you a little bit. A lot of companies out there try to keep their customers uneducated so that they can take advantage of them, and that's definitely not what I want to do. I do have a point. I remember meeting another guy in my industry over a year ago, and I remember this quote that he said, this thing that he said, I'll just never forget. He said, when I told him I was in internet marketing, he said, oh yeah, me too, or SEO. It was either SEO or internet marketing. He said, oh yeah, we're a dime a dozen. And I remember thinking to myself, you might be a dime a dozen, but I'm not. I'm definitely different than most of the other people and businesses out there, and I think it'll show the more and more you talk to me. And so there's just a lot of things that I do differently that help create a better relationship for both of us. So first of all, I can give you real results. So this site that you're on right now, you can see the date that I've done this, March 8th, 2013. I only started working on this site about 3 months ago, and I'm already ranking number about 12 or 13 for Dallas SEO, which is a very, very competitive term, as you might imagine, and it gets searched a lot. So you know, it's only been 3 months, and this takes a while. Usually 3 months is the minimum that I tell people to get results, because you don't want to go too fast. So I mean, after another 3 to 6 months, I imagine I'll rank very well. You can go ahead and, if you found me with Dallas SEO, or go ahead and search Dallas SEO and see where I rank right now. That's, I think, the biggest proof in the pudding, because it's extremely competitive, and it's very difficult to get up there. And there's some people who work on it real hard, and they have sites that they've been working on for years and years and years, and I'm already up there ahead of a lot of them. I've also gotten client results. Just an example, lately someone signed up 3 months ago, and they were nowhere to be found, and then now for their top search phrase, the one that gets searched the most, that they're most interested in, they're number 4, and so that's a pretty big improvement. Now, obviously, after 3 months, you can't always expect to be number 1, but you know, improvement over time is really what we look for. And you know, within the next 3 to 6 months, they'll be number 1 for a lot of their search phrases. They have a lot of other search phrases that they're on the first and the second page for that we've seen a gradual improvement for. So, and there's other client results that I have. I don't want to get too much into it, but just know that I really try to target real results for you. Again, a win-win. I don't want to just take your money and not have any gains from this. That doesn't help me. That doesn't help my business. That long term, it doesn't make me feel good about myself. It's not how I want to live my life. So, I would like to talk real briefly about my history. So I've actually been building those sites since the 90s. But about 4 years ago, I started doing serious SEO on my own sites, and then about 2 years, I started selling SEO services to people. And I was pretty good when I was selling the SEO services. I got results. I got pretty good results. I was able to rank really well for some really number 1 for some really competitive terms. But about a year ago, there was a big update that hurt a lot of the techniques that I used, and I went out to seek on how to do better SEO that will last longer. And I realized that even though while my techniques worked, they were pretty low-level techniques. So that kind of shows also what level Google was at. But now a lot of people in the SEO are dropping out instead of doing what I do, because they're like, oh, this doesn't work anymore. No, you just need to do higher quality techniques. And what I've been able to do is find a way to do what I call domination, or search engine domination. And basically I made friends about 4 months ago with a guy who's made millions online, and he showed me all of his most advanced SEO techniques. and let me tell you, they are powerful, and I think it shows in the fact that of how quickly I've ranked this site and some other sites as well. So I mean, I can look. There's a way that I can dominate for you. So that's part of my history. So you know, I really am constantly trying to get better and better, and I'm always looking for ways to improve. In fact, the other day I thought of a new technique that it's very different, and my friend thought it was a great idea, and so we're trying it out. And I will always be doing that because Google will always be evolving. But at the same time, if you understand Google's mindset, you can think way ahead of them and go way into the future and think of how techniques that will not just work today, but that will work 2 to 5 years from now. That's really what I strive to do, and so that's kind of my history on SEO. As far as like the risk-reward relationship between this, a lot of people in my industry will ask you to take all the risks, and I try to mitigate some of your risk. And one of the ways I do that is I try to teach you a little bit about SEO, just some of the basics. You know, I'm not trying to make you an expert. I'm trying to get you to understand what I will do for you, and try to understand what kind of expectations you'll have. It makes you a better customer, but it also helps protect you from any shenanigans. Even if you weren't to go with me, you go to someone else, I still recommend you look up the SEO basics, so that just to make sure that you're keeping your whoever you hired honest. So also, I always try to do a positive ROI. I try to calculate that so that you have a significant positive ROI over time. Now, with SEO, you do kind of have to be a little patient. It's usually not going to pay off right away. It's usually going to take at least 3 to 6 months before you see a significant return on your money, and sometimes a little longer. But once you get to that point, between 6 to 12 months, you could be making a dramatic amount of money off of your investment. So over the course of a whole year, I think you would still gain a significant amount of money, and then in the second year, you should be doubling, tripling, quadrupling the amount that you've invested. And I do want to say that SEO is not right for every company. Some companies it just doesn't make sense for, and you kind of have to do the math in order to figure that out. And I try to help you do the math based upon certain expectations that are estimations on click-through rates, the amount of traffic, how many of those turn into conversions, how many of those turn into customers, what's the value of one of your customers. So you put all that together, and you come up with an estimation. And if it's really low, and I don't think I can do SEO for that amount, then I'll tell you. That's just how I do it. I mean, I don't want to take your money and then in the end you go, you know, David, you ranked me, but I'm not seeing the money. It's not a return. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. So there's some other options if that's the case, but generally you really need to figure out if it's best for you, and that helps mitigate your risk. It is also good to manage your expectations. You usually don't get a fast return, but you can get fast rankings improvements. What I mean by that is basically most of the money goes to the top 3. So you're not going to get a big return on your money usually, unless there's a lot of searches or you make a lot of money per client, unless you're in like the top 3 to 5. But what I will do is I'll show you fast ranking improvements. So like if you rank 50, you know, over the first 3 months, you shouldn't still be 50th. You know, you might not be number 1, but you might be on like the first or second page for some of your major terms. And that's what I would consider to be like the improvements that we're looking for. So you want gradual. Now it does kind of go up and down. It's called the Google dance, but that's the gist of it. And also what I try to do is I try to set up a deal or a proposal where you don't have to take all the risk. And there's a lot of different ways I do that because a lot of people in my industry, again, they'll ask you to pay $1,000, $2,000 a month. And after, you know, if it works for you, great. If not, well, that's tough. You know, you took all the risk. But that's not how I try to do the relationship. I try to set up some deals where we make money together. And so if you're interested in that, just let me know. And then once you get the traffic, what you can do is you go beyond SEO. And so really there's 4 steps to online success, and that's creating a plan that fits your business. So does SEO work for you? So if it doesn't, what else does work for you? What are some other options you have? You drive targeted traffic, example, SEO. So, and this is a big step because without this creating a plan, you don't know what you need to do. But after that, you need step 2 to really do step 3 and 4 well. Because if you don't have targeted traffic, you can't convert that traffic and you can't put them into a sequence system. So that's why this step is really important. Once you get this down, I can help you with what's called conversion optimization. And then from there, what you do is you put them into a sequence system that's sort of like a sales system that a lot of you already have, but there's some tools that I have that can really amplify it a lot that can take you to a whole other level. And these are very powerful steps. A lot of people will just do this, and even if they're successful at that, they're leaving a lot of money on the table by not doing steps 3 and 4. These can go a long way towards amplifying the success of your SEO. So now that you've watched this, thanks for watching. But if you want a free online presence analysis, go ahead and contact me. You can give me a call, 469-438-8153. And this is, I've seen competitors charge like up to $1,500 for this. It's very valuable. It'll tell you what are your competitors doing now, what can you do to beat them, and what are your opportunities, where's your lowest hanging fruit. I'll even usually throw in some tips on SEO that even if you don't end up hiring me, that they can give you some improvement. I've seen that happen before. They took a couple of my tips and they got improvements, and then I never heard from them again. That's just the chance I take. But most of the time, if I provide value to you, I imagine that you'll at least talk to me about moving forward, potentially. So, again, my name is David Hood. I'm the Dallas SEO Geek, and thanks for listening.